going on, guys? Right now, just actually, cutting my hair and everything like that. Which is something I think any man can pretty much do. You know what I mean? Um, at least for like the even all around wave cut. But this video is really about it's about what I found my findings, excuse me, when the last video that I did is this is the results of that video. Whereas I'm talking a lot about detangling, um, and a lot of guys might not have that issue. Depends on how straight your beard hair is. For me, my hair is really kinky and very very coarse, And so for me, what I've noticed is that from actually going through the process of allowing my hair to be plaited or braided, if you will, the hair naturally just kind of relaxed and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is it straightened itself out. Forgive me for the all the haircut dirt on my shoulder there. Um, but you might not be able to see because my t-shirt is black as well. But go and look in all the other videos, and you'll notice that my beard is not as long appearing, and maybe it'll help. Maybe it'll help if I remove my shirt. You can see. But let's see here. So now I have hair on my phone now, but now you see like from just braiding it out, and we've been doing these things for a while. If you check out any women that have natural hair, one thing that they do is something that they call protective styling. And so what that does is they braid, and when they're in the process of braiding, what they do is they apply their essential oils. I got the avocado oil and stuff like that. But anyways, what they do is they apply their oils and stuff in there. And while they're applying their oils, actually, let me back up. What they do is they take the showers, and when they're taking the showers, they allow the hair to get moist. So they might use the shampoo brush, which I've talked about that plenty of times. Got that beard tip from our guy Gray Bailey, George A. Bruno. Get yourself the shampoo brush, and while you're washing and doing all that kind of thing, you go ahead and you go through that, you wash, you know what I'm saying? And I use my grandpa's pine tar soap along with that and the shampoo brush. And so while I'm using the shampoo brush, then afterwards what I do is I come out of the shower, I actually apply a little bit of oil to my hands while I'm kind of washing out the beard and stuff like that. Or not washing it, but more so like lightly, removing the moisture, or kind of wringing out just a little bit, lightly, because it's hair we're talking about. We're not talking about mops or anything like that. So in the process of that, what I do afterwards is I go through, and with oil in my hand, I actually braid it through, and you'll see that in the last video, the natural way of straightening or detangling the thick or dense beard. So then after you braid and you plait it, you got oil in your hand, so you're getting oil to the places in your beard. And don't worry about the places where it's short. Normally they're this area up here takes a little bit longer to grow. If you're able to get some sort of a plait in there, some sort of a braid, do so. If not, it's fine. But if you can, do it. Even if it's a short one, do it. And then what happens afterwards is I kind of go in with and you can do it with like a dropper or one of these needle nose kind of application bottles. And then what you want to do, because after you've already braided like the actual beard, then what will happen is the actual follicle, the face will be more exposed because you'll have parts in between it because you got these parts braided and stuff. And then you go in and you actually add and apply some oil to the actual face. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing, man. I felt great moisture. I kept mine plaited up, pretty much braided up or plaited up or whatever you want to call it, for about 2 days because I was doing some work around the house. I work from home, so that's what I was doing. You know, I kept it braided up. I wasn't really going outside. I maybe stepped out like one time to do a photo shoot, and after that, I left it plaited up. I just took it down this morning, and I was really, really satisfied with, number one, the hair up under wasn't like stuck to my neck, and that's normally what tends to happen with my beard is because the hair is so, it's so coarse and it's so dense and thick, if you will, that if I lay down on my hair, it'll literally like mat itself up against my head, like it'll just be flat up against there. And I don't think you want that, and I'm not sure, but you guys ride along with me on the process and you'll see whether that's the type of thing that I actually continue to go through as I'm growing through to another length, you know what I mean? But you know, excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Kind of coming over a quick little thing or whatever. Slept with the fan on 2 nights ago. I didn't sleep with it on last night, but you know, what I'm noticing is that because my hair tightly coils into this like it'll look like springs, literally. My hair will look exactly like springs. But what I'm really checking out is that as the hair lengthens, the springs like stretch out. It stretches out instead of it being like, you know, it'll be like more elongated spring where it starts to stretch itself out and stuff like that. And so that's what I'm actually doing with the plaiting and the braiding of it. You'll see that in the last video, is that I'm just I'm stretching it out, and I tend to keep it. I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this my actual like sleep regimen, sleep routine. I did a video before a while ago. You can see that about how to sleep with a beard, and I talked about kind of laying on the face, hand on the side of the face kind of thing. But as length increases, I'm able to have a more functional routine, if you will. And through this functional routine, through length, I'm finding that I'm enjoying it a lot more. I'm finding more applicable resources or processes that help me out a little bit more. I actually forgot that I had length on my beard, so I never thought about like, oh, my beard's long enough for me to plait it. Because a lot of guys, they're putting up comedy videos about their beards and how they can look like a Viking or whatever it is. And for me, I never found any interest in the videos, but what I have learned kind of passively from being exposed to the video is that what one person uses for comedy, you can use it for functionality. Certain things will work for certain people. Certain people will joke about things, and it won't be in your place to actually laugh about it. You actually be able to learn about it. So, I guess be careful to emotionalize what it is you're experiencing, because the most ridiculous thing that you might think that you're seeing and it's registering in your mind as ridiculousness, it might be something that it works for you. It might be silly for them and comedic because it doesn't work for them, but they're aware of it, so they might show comedy of it. And for you, it might actually be functional, something that'll help you out. So that's what I kind of did. A lot of guys were joking around and plaiting their beards and had a lot of plaits going down them, and maybe talking, saying that they look like what's his name from Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever. But for me, I'm able to plait my beard and go to sleep, and while it's at this length, and continue to retain my length where the hair doesn't tangle itself and get bombarded within its fellow hairs and stuff like that and tangle off. So, next time I'm running a comb through or brushing, I'm getting all this breakage and stuff like that because the hairs aren't stretched out. And so, in time with, the aid of gravity and different things, the hair will stay in its relaxed state, if you will. But a lot of times when the hairs are really, really short, they tend to get real tight and stuff like that. And so that's one thing I'm just trying to, you know, uh, protective styling. So, with all those things being said, I just finished cutting my hair and stuff. I'm about to go edge it up, line it up. Like I always say, I line it from here, I line down here, I line right here, and then kind of what I do is even though I line here and here, in my mind I'm kind of lining here to here because I don't. I mean, of course, I don't line above that line. That's where the beard line for me is, right at my ear. So you see like that, but I don't line. I don't. I stop lining once I get to this point. I don't cut this at all. I don't fade this out or anything like anybody else does. A lot of guys are, you see videos on fading the beard and stuff like that. I'm not really into that because I'm trying to cultivate the most natural beard that I can and grow it from the fullness thereof. Because one thing you can do is, you can cut away as it's longer, but if there's no hair there to begin with, then it's pretty doggone tough to say that, well, I want this style. Well, you can't style it because there's no hair there. So, it's better to start off with hair in more places than it is to trim and start styling for what you think you want. Because, even with a lot of things that I thought that I wanted, they weren't the things that I thought I wanted. You learn as you're growing. We're growing through this process. So, you can't act like you know everything that it is that you need to know or know just pinpoint for sure like I'm going for that beard style. You're not quite sure, yet. One of the things I did learn around along the platinum process is that pretty much from my jaw up, it just like grows. It doesn't grow at the same rate. Everything from my jaw around below, oh my god, like all of this grows low. I mean long, but if you get above that hand line, above my bottom lip, from my bottom lip up, it has a slower rate of growing. And it's cool because it alerted me to the fact that where I should apply attention to. It's not saying, oil this stuff up, oil it up, oil it down, That's not what I'm saying. But you know, different things like the shampoo brush remind me that, hey, when you're in the shower and you're exfoliating, don't be rough, but give it some attention, stimulation, stimulate it so that it can begin to grow more, and it'll look a lot more interesting, as these other layers start to fill in. Because what I'm starting to learn is bottom lip down is gonna pretty much be like the middle layer. This is the middle layer, and then once you get below the jaw, the whole neck portion, that's like the bottom layer. So you got this bottom layer that's gonna aid to support this middle layer, and then once the layer above it fills in, and all of that just kind of falls over, and it has more of a thicker look and a fuller look, if you will. Layers provide fullness, therefore also providing you with what we call in the photography field as depth of field. Depth being the deepness and the multi dimensions thereof. You can give an illusion to depth, or there can actually be depth there. So and a lot of guys know that kind of stuff. A lot of people that are stylists and different things, they know things like the foreground, the middle ground, the background. So up here above will be the foreground. Everything right here below will be the middle ground, and everything back below the jaw, which a lot of beard guys, we call it the neared, because it's the beard part of your neck. Beard, neared is the background. So you got the background that's supporting, you got the background that's like flowing downward, and then you got the middle ground, it's the jaw, and then you got the foreground, it's the frontmost thing that you see, that's all this right here. And then I'd even go another level above the foreground to say maybe top ground, whereas then you have the mustache that lays over the top of all that. If you in fact allow this mustache to grow out, it'll cascade right over the top of the beard of the chin cheek beard or something, if you want to call it that, you know. But yeah, guys, that's 15 minutes in. Loving you guys. Have fun. Peace.